All right, go.
So, you want me to turn it down? Just do this.
All right. All right.
What you feel, what you hear, what you hear, what you feel is all in real. Something that you can feel. Real love just may be real. Set me just
All right.
from your heart without the heel. Never walk alone. Got fire like the stones. High like a flying drone. Burning like a fire zone. No time for silly games. Hands up, you feel the same. Move up and change the game. Or else it's safe aside.
You're feeling that groove?
You know, you can do whatever you want to do here. That's for people to do whatever.
Yeah. I like that. Feeling that out there? Who's that one person? I'm asking that person who's listening, are they feeling that groove? It's not 7 yet, is it? It's like 2 minutes before. Can you see the time? I can't see it right now. Like that. All right. What time is it exactly now? Because I like to start on time. Is it 7 yet?
No, it's 6:30.
I don't know. It's 6:30. That's fine. It's 6:30 on the dot, right?
It's 6:30 on the dot.
See, last time we started at 7, so I got my last episode was 7.
Like
yeah.
7. I'm like,
Right. My bad, people. But here we are with episode 9 of the C Note. I'm your host, Caltace Ransom. The C Note is where we keep it 100, where the real recognize real. And then you got to do it like this. And we also see you fake asses out there too. Yeah, we see y'all fake asses. But we're here with us tonight, a true Renaissance woman, my goddess, sister, Miss Content Johnson. You know, she is a multifaceted woman. She is an author, a screenwriter, playwright, filmmaker. She's an ordained minister, which we're going to get into that also a little later, because some people have this impression or this misperception that you can't be, well, it's only a misperception in the Black community, that you can't be, quote unquote, well, there's a difference in being religious and being spiritual. There's two different things.
Yeah.
But in both cases, some of our people believe that you can't be those things and be Black first. But we're going to talk about that because we need to talk about that. But anyway, you are a multifaceted woman, and I was in your documentary some years ago, back in 2016 to 2017. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. You know what I'm talking about? Not by Sight. What's the name of it?
Not by Sight.
Yeah, correct. And you have a degree in African Studies.
African American Studies.
African Studies.
Studies, that is correct.
And communications and production, communication and film production, so forth. Yes, multifaceted woman. Now, your name is Content. Now, I have to ask you, who named you? Was your mom, your dad, your grandmother, and are you content right now with what's going on in this crazy world? I know you can't be, but yeah, are you content? Content.
Well, so, my parents named me. My mom, it's like two different stories. I mean, one, she was satisfied, with content meaning
Oh,
satisfied,
she was content. Yeah, yeah.
and I'm an only child, so it was
Oh.
the one. But then there was also a movie that she said that she had saw, her and one of her best friends,
Mm-hmm.
coming up. It was called The Marriage Go Round, and the main character, her name was Content.
Okay.
But it's so funny. I said, when you look at some characters and stuff, and you see the lives that they lead, it's like, you sure you want to name folks?
Well, it could have been much worse. She could have been named after a bottle of liquor or something like some people are. You could have been Hennessy Content or.
I give thanks and praise. My mama and daddy had some sense.
I know, right? I know that's right. So where are you from originally?
Alexandria, Virginia.
Alexandria, Virginia. That's where you reside now, right? Correct? You still
Correct.
reside.
So,
Okay, cool. Are both of your folks still with us?
no, my mom is with us. My father passed away a few years ago in 20
Okay.
October. So he's
I'm sorry.
rim.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had to be a great man to produce a daughter such as yourself.
I guess you could say so.
I do. Well, I do say so. I do say so. You and I met back in like 2012, 2010, 2010, 11, because I first met you when I was going to City of Refuge, DC.
Yes.
Right. And then they shut down after a while. And then I ended up at the Community Washington, D.C. church or whatever, which you've also been there as well. And I heard you sing there also. You sung some gospel songs up in that camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So as far as being in the arts, how long have you been in the arts? Is this something that you've been in since childhood, or it just came about later on?
No, I mean, of course, with the conditioning of our people being a part of that, community that was raised in the church, so been exposed to all different type of denominations and stuff. And I started singing in the little kids choir when I was 9.
Okay.
When I was 9, so I guess, about 30 years, 30 years worth of 31 years worth of singing. Just growing up, my father played in the quartet groups. So, of course, harmony and stuff got to be tight. And, quartet music blues comes from quartet music.
Yes.
But, just being exposed to just different types of churches, those that sing hymns, those that do praise and worship, different denominations and different cultures and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you were exposed to different cultures and so forth. Including, well, I saw that you mentioned you have a book, right? You're an author of one book with a very controversial title, I must say. Saved, Sanctified, and Filled with the Devil, correct? That's the name, or Filled with the Devil. Saved, Sanctified, and Filled with the Devil. Now, give us some background on that book. Y'all want to hear about that, right? Filled with the devil. Because what I got to say about the devil, right? I don't believe in no devil in the ground. I don't. The devil is right here on this planet with us, walking the earth every day. But anyway.
First of all, the title of the book comes from that basic cliche saying of, I'm saved,
sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? But, and I just say a lot of times, a lot of the attributes and the traits that our people be on are not that of, a liberating entity, but more of a demonic entity.
Right.
So they operate in jealousy and backbiting and all this type of stuff
in the church, and which is supposed to be a fellowship under the divine and the Most High. But yet we have all this foolishness going on in the church. So you might be saved and sanctified, but you ain't filled with no Holy Ghost. Not the life-changing one that, you know, directs and moves you and progresses you. So
like our being filled with our ancestors and so forth, and well, see, there's a difference between religion and being spiritual. Religion actually keeps us divided from our people and makes us judge our people a lot over things that we normally don't. Well, we judge our own people more than we judge anybody else.
Yeah.
We tend to let others outside of our people get away with a lot of stuff. And we forgive other people for everything. Whereas though when it comes to our own people, we tend to hold grudges and not forgive other Black people. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we don't have our direct or our natural spiritual connection that we had before we were chained up.
Right.
And had the fact we had the outside entity God beaten into us. What I mean by the outside entity God is before we were enslaved like that, we had a direct connection to the universe, to the creator, which lives inside of us. But nowadays we go around and we look, you hear people saying now, where's God? Where's God? I searched all over and I'm looking for God. But, you know, God, the creator, whatever you want to call that energy, that spirit, it is within us,
right.
Especially us as the original people. And if we were more in tune to that, we would be a lot better off today. So go do a little bit more about your book. What did your book point out? Some of the things.
What you just said is like it's chapter 1 is perfume over funk.
Explain that word.
Perfume over funk, the illusion of holiness and the reality of historical seasoning.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, just sit on that for just 1 second. You know, the illusion of holiness and the reality of historical seasoning. So when you look at some of our denominations and stuff, you know, please, they don't want to see me come up here or yourself with no locks or anything, because that's looked at as worldly. But however, we will go and get some hair off of a dead woman, off of a horse, synthetic or whatever. you know what I'm saying? Put it in all these different styles.
Right.
And paint like we laying in a casket somewhere. And, you know, if your skirt got to be a certain length and you know, just all this different type of stuff. And when you look at a lot of those things, that comes from a lot of British style and, you know, upbringing.
Right.
But that whole, you know, like the way the hat and the way the gloves, I mean, of course, we have our own fabulous, you know, headgears and different stuff. But that particular way that, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
And kind of beat into us as, you know, that's holiness. Dreadlocks is not holiness. Tattoos is not holiness. Head wraps is not holiness. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear people say stuff like that and bashing that, it's more so that historical seasoning. And, you know, for folks that don't even understand, you know, the seasoning, that was when they were still bringing people from the continent. And, you know, you had those of us that already knew the rules and all that was going on. It was our job to teach them the way. The way of assimilation. So that's why a lot of times, you know, when it comes to religion, we're on autopilot. You know, white folks don't even have to oppress us and tell us that, you know, our hair is ugly or something, because we'll tell ourselves.
Yeah, we tell ourselves our hair is ugly. But the thing about weaves are concerned, actually our people did invent weaves.
Yes.
In Africa.
Yes.
But the difference is the weaves that they made to wear in their head, it was made out of the texture or to look like our natural hair.
Exactly.
It wasn't that long stringy stuff. It was our hair texture. I could get a little rude, but I'm not going to say what I want to say. But anyway. That's a little hit.
Their own beauty. It wasn't like, oh, I'm ugly, so I need to do this.
Right.
I need to do this so I can have a job. I need to do this so that my livelihood can go on. You know, it wasn't like that. It was more so like, you know.
Yeah, the weaves that they wore had like the natural texture of our hair, whether it be more coarse or wavy or curly or whatever, or quote unquote nappy. They wore weaves to accentuate that natural beauty of our hair. Because I personally love nappy hair. I love it. You want to call it nappy? I love it. Hey. So, and I want to
lots of stuff. It's amazing how many ministers and people that I know that were seeking to grow in the ranks of ministry, and they were exposed to Afrocentricity, but as soon as they started to get into the church, that was the first thing. They cut their locks off, and it's just like, what deacon, what minister, what pastor, what reverend said, okay, well, in order for you to be a Baptist preacher and an acceptable preacher, you have to look this certain type of way.
Right. You see, I'm very much interested in that because, well, I've been told all my life that I have the call. You know what the call is. I've been told all my life since I was a little boy in adulthood that I have the call to be a minister. Yeah. Right? And I'm like, y'all really don't want me to be no minister because I'm going to tell the truth. Y'all be trying to kick me out of church because I'm not going to preach a message to keep our people enslaved.
Right.
And that can segue because we're definitely going to get back to your music and your films and so forth. But
I know throwing that book title out there earlier today.
We can also make sure. Tell them where they can find your book, Saved, Sanctified, and Filled with the Devil, in case somebody wants to check it out. Tell them where they can find that, your book
at. You can get it on Amazon. You can order it as a paperback, or you can get it on your Kindle, and you can also get it on Audible. So it's not long. It's only about 65 pages.
65 pages. Y'all can do that. 65 pages.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon, Audible, and what else?
Kindle.
And Kindle. Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. Check it out. I'm sure it's not expensive.
No. They got Kindle, it's free,
Yeah, Kindle is free. Okay. I have Kindle. I've never even actually used it. But I might check it out with your book, though.
You would love to check it out.
Well, yeah, those different little headings that you have.
Yeah.
The titles of the different chapters. That makes it very interesting. Makes me want to read it to see what's going on with that. But yeah, like I mentioned before, there's this misperception, only in the Black community though, that you can't be quote unquote into a higher power, whatever you want to call that higher power, whether you want to call it God or want to call it Allah or whatever, that we can't be Black first. You can't be Black first and have a connection to your higher power, which is not true. Right. And we're the only group of people that feel that way because everybody else puts their people first. Mm-hmm. I see people posting stuff like we need to leave the past in the past and forget about the past. Well, the thing about that is if you forget about the past, you run the danger of repeating it.
Right.
You have to remember it. And remembering the past is not something that holds us back. That's another thing that a lot of our people say. Leave the past in the past because that's what holds you back. No. Because European Jews, they don't let go of the past. They do not let go of the past at all. They make sure that nobody ever forgets what their ancestors went through. And ain't nothing holding them back at all. Okay? They get what they want. Their people are taken care of. And because they do respect their ancestors. And they make sure that no one forgets about what happened to their ancestors, even though it did not happen in this particular country. And They got reparations from this country, although their Holocaust did not happen here. Ours happened here and continues to happen here. We have not gotten any reparations yet. But how do you feel about that whole thing that we can't be spiritual people or have a connection to the higher power and put Black people first? Because I feel as though, because we're told if we put Black people first that we're quote unquote racist. Well, first of all, if you know the definition of racist, Black people can't be racist. We can be prejudiced, but the way I feel about, because of the things that we've been through in this country and continue to go through, we have justifiable prejudice. We're justified in our prejudice because of the things that's still happening. But how do you feel about that whole notion that you can't be a spiritual person or have a connection to a higher power a loving higher power and be black first.
Again, that's part of the assimilation process.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the assimilation process because, I mean, think about it. A lot of people get caught up in the fact of, okay, they beat us with the chains and this, and that, but they don't understand the spiritual beating. So
mm-hmm.
we have no chains anymore, but we still have those mental and those spiritual chains. So there's still a mental, spiritual, psychological
right.
emancipation that needs to happen. So, you know, until that day, I feel like, you know, singing war. You know, and until that day, we still going to be running around in this rat race trying to figure out, well, why can't we get this and we can't get that and we can't get this? But until we realize, once we come together on this, you know, spiritual journey, and it goes with the brainwashing of the images instilled in our heads. And
oh yeah.
It goes, you know, and we have to remember from the plantation days, any type of unification, any type of celebrating amongst ourselves, you know, it was looked down upon. So like how I said earlier, a lot of stuff, we are just on autopilot, you know, we are just on autopilot. And as I speak about sometimes, because, you know, being exposed to different cultures and stuff, you have something like called the spiritual Baptist in the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when you look at their services and stuff, you see all these, you know, this clothing, African clothing, and all these drums, and, you know, all this different stuff. But yet, when you look at the pictures on the wall and the statues on, you know, a lot
they
of
got they got that white dude up on the wall with that. Oh, yeah, I know. And some people are very surprised to find out that I once was a member of a church and sang on the choir at this church. Where the pastor was a Caucasian man. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because I'm just a little bit outspoken about being pro-black. Just a wee tiny bit. But what you know, the thing about it is, what happened, how I got involved in this church, it was a quote unquote black Catholic church, mm-hmm. where the choir was all black when I joined. Mm-hmm. And all the musicians on the choir were black, and the congregation is predominantly black. There was only like a handful of Caucasians in the congregation, and the pastor was white. But I like the way the choir sounded, right? Because they sang gospel music, even though it was a Catholic church, they sang gospel music. I mean, like regular gospel music, John P. Key and all that, and whoever, you know, Kirk Franklin. And so I went up there and I said I wanted to join the choir. I talked to the choir director, and he wanted me to. He took me in the back to sing, and I sung a couple of songs. I sung a little bit of because at the time I was writing gospel songs, and so I sang a little bit of a gospel song that I wrote, and I also sang one of Stevie Wonder's songs, "Knocks Me Off My Feet," okay. And he liked and he liked what I sounded like, so he told me to come to rehearsal the next week or whatever, and so I was there, and I was on the choir for like a whole year before I joined the church. Okay. You know. Because they was like, when you going to join? When you going to join? I was there singing. What you say?
What you say? Like me at City of Refuge for like 3 years, and then on the
right. I know, right?
Talk about it, you know. All right.
Yeah. So, and the thing about it is when they found out that I was into acting as well. They wanted me to start doing things at the church.
Okay.
And it's sometimes like for Black History Month. And I would write stuff for Black History Month, and I wouldn't pull no punches. Okay. Just because I'm up in a well, look, just because I'm up in a church where the pastor is Caucasian, I'm not going to sit up there and sugarcoat anything. Okay. And while I was going to this church, some stuff had started happening to me while I was going to this church. Also, I started having my first run-ins with racist cops. And you may have or not have heard me talk about something that happened to me several years ago where I left out of my apartment one night after a long rehearsal for a play. I came home after a rehearsal. You know about that?
Yeah, you told me about him hitting your head. And...
Yeah, he grabbed me around my throat. Because I told him that, first of all, I hadn't done anything wrong. I just left my home to go get something to eat, to pick up something that I had ordered from a carryout that was 2 blocks away. And there were 4 guys sitting out there. There was a bus stop there, 4 black guys. And this one guy I knew, he sings and he knows that I sing too. So he wanted to get into a little singing match out on the street corner. And I'm like, brother, I'm not about to burst into song on the street corner. I'm just trying to get my food and go home. And this one other brother walked up. And that made it with 6 black guys out there. Mm-hmm. So this white cop, I guess he figured he hit the jackpot, right? Six black guys in one spot. Well, that's probably not what he said. He probably said 6 niggas. And let me get them. So basically, it was all about him filling a quota, because he even said that when he got to the police station. Oh yeah, I got me a lot of them tonight. I made my quota. I like to keep the boss happy. And he was laughing about it with his coworkers. But what happened was that I hadn't done anything wrong. He arrested us for some bull loitering or whatever. Nobody was loitering. I wasn't even there. Because he claimed that the reason why he was arresting them, that he had drove around there several times that night and that they were out there for a long period of time. Mm-hmm. Even though they weren't bothering anybody, they were just sitting on the bus stop talking. Right. But I had just got there. I wasn't even out there for a whole minute, but he didn't care. And at the time, because of a brain injury that I suffered as a child, I was on seizure medication at the time. And I told him that I was on seizure medication and I didn't have my medicine with me. Okay. Because I was supposed to take a pill at night before I went to bed. And that's when he took both of his pale, nasty white hands and grabbed me around my throat. And he said, I'll make you have an effing seizure. I'll make you have a fucking seizure. That's what he said. If you don't do what I say. So he put those handcuffs on me. So I was a member of this church at the time when this happened. Okay. To me. And then I had some other run-ins with racist cops and stuff like that and racist civilians over the years. So when they would ask me to write stuff about Black history, most of my stuff was about dealing with the self-hatred in the Black community. Wanting to heal the minds of our people, to get rid of the self-hatred in our people, for us to love ourselves and to stand up for ourselves. So when I would do something at that Church for Black History Month, I know I said some stuff that probably made some of those white people in there a little uncomfortable, but I got a standing ovation from the church when I did it.
They probably was scared. They probably was like, I don't know.
Well, the black people loved it. Anyway, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna get off of that. But yeah, you had a documentary about 2016, 2017, somewhere around there, 2016, called Not by Sight, and I was asked to be in that. You asked me to write a spoken word piece for that, which I performed in that, and I posted it. I'm just mad about one thing. I can't believe that I did not put an S on that one word on none of those tapes. I'm just huh?
This thing do not want to come on. This is where what you're looking for is.
Oh, okay.
when you was like, okay, so I can't fix that bakery thing. But here it is.
Okay.
My life. It's right here. I don't know. I need some stuff off of this too. But
so what was your inspiration for your documentary, Not by Sight?
First of all, just being exposed to City of Refuge and just learning just the contributions that same gender loving people gave to the gospel industry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For church, you already know. You already know what you're hearing and stuff like that. But you know, as the bashing goes on, the choir's getting ready to sing an A, B, and C selection from James Cleveland. You understand what I'm saying? I just really thought that it was really interesting to not only just highlight that, but just also being exposed to people that were in that church that were pro-Black, because that's also another thing that a lot of people don't see when it comes to same gender loving people is like, they just thinking, hey child, everybody's just, high up all the time. And,
well, I might get in trouble for saying this. I'm not saying there's a total difference, but there's a slight difference sometimes with people who identify as same gender loving as opposed to, Black people who identify as same gender loving as opposed to some other Black people who identify as quote unquote gay.
Right.
And the And the reason why I say that is that a lot of the gay identified black people are more tied to um, the white side of that.
Yeah.
Uh, the LGBTQ thing and the rainbow flags, which is steeped in racism itself. And even James Baldwin himself, I don't remember the exact quote, but he did an interview with someone years ago where he talked about the term gay.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that he didn't see why that he don't see that as something that we need to identify as. He saw that as something that white homosexuals were using as their little niche. That was their way of carving out their own little niche
Right.
of white supremacy. So he didn't identify with gay. And when they started the whole gay movement, as I've learned over the past 10 years or so, that they didn't even want black people at the table. They
Right.
did things to keep black people out of their establishments and so forth. And even today, there's still a lot of racism in the white LGBTQ
Oh
community.
yeah.
Yeah, and so not all. There are some gay identified black people that are pro-black,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of them are kind of compromised because they feel
Right.
tied to that, and they are about putting their sexual orientation
Mm-hmm.
over their race. The same thing with some black women who identify with the feminist movement,
Mm-hmm.
which that was started by white women.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, most white women don't really give a damn about sisters.
Nope. Because
So,
they outraged right now about Breonna Taylor right now if they did.
yeah, and also you heard about that case recently. I can't think of his name right now because nobody's talking about it. There was a white football player who badly beat up his black girlfriend
Oh yeah, I
and
heard
tried
about
to strangle her. And he said he was surprised that she survived. And he beat her because she wouldn't quote unquote bow down to him.
it. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not hearing any outrage over that.
Nothing.
Nobody's saying anything. But if that had been a black man, everybody would have something to say. Black people would have a lot to say if there was a black man who did that to a black woman. Even if it was a black man who had allegedly did something to a Caucasian woman, black people would be highly upset, ready to crucify the brother without even knowing if it's true. And of course, white people would jump on the bandwagon as well. But this white man tried to kill this sister, and nobody's saying anything.
Yeah.
Where is Gloria Allred?
Yeah.
Miss, I call her Gloria Allrat. Gloria Allrat, because she's a rat. She has so much to say when it's a black man, and she's talking about we got to care about women, but she ain't saying nothing now about this white man who tried to kill this black woman. Everybody's totally silent, and I'm not understanding that. You have black people who claim that we got to protect black women, right, at all costs. But yet, when a white person is doing something to a black woman, we're silent.
Yeah. And it's
So,
sad. It's extremely sad. And I mean, just the division that we allow in our communities, just these subgroups.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you're born, they don't see you as, Muslim, Hebrew,
right.
Christian, gay, straight. They see, black.
Mm-hmm.
And your gender, what I'm
right?
saying?
Because those times when I was harassed by racist cops and so forth, he ain't stopped to say, "Are you same gender loving? Because if you are, I'll let you go." He ain't said that. He ain't give a fuck about that. He saw a black man. He saw 6 black men in one spot. Wasn't doing nothing. Wasn't bothering nobody, and he figured he wanted to fill a quota. And he didn't care. He grabbed me around my throat, like I said, and cussed. He didn't care about the fact that I said I had a seizure disorder, which I did. Right. And I was on seizure medication at the time called Dilantin. But he didn't care. He didn't show any type of human feelings, but I guess you have to be human to show some human feelings. Exactly. I ain't going to get into that. But when I told him that, somebody who had some decency in them would have cared.
Yeah.
But he didn't care. He I'll make you have a fucking seizure. Those were his exact words, and grabbed me around my throat. And I was so furious. And when I talk about that now, a lot of black people are dismissive about it. don't want to hear about it. Like, you just supposed to just get over that kind of stuff. You know, and it's not something you can just get over, especially when you have something like that happen to you where you just plan to go get something to eat and you plan to just to go back home, but you don't get to go back home that night. You end up sitting in a jail cell all night long, and you didn't do anything wrong.
Snatched up, like you snatched from Elmina.
Right.
That's the thrill that goes through the body. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm sure he probably almost nutted on himself when he grabbed me around my throat. I'm sure he got off on that shit. I'm sure he did. Well, look, I'm going to keep it real. There's a lot of keep it 100. A lot of white people get off on that stuff. They get off on harming black people and stuff like that. All that stuff about complying, just comply and they'll let you'll live. There's been a lot of black people who totally complied and still ended up dead. And some of those people, they get off on seeing black people beg for their lives. Okay? That turns them on to see black people get off. To beg for their lives. So it's just crazy. So it just bothers me because I've had some black people say some stuff about, well, anybody who the police stopped and did something to, they must have did something for it to happen. No, that's not true. Right. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I just left out of my apartment. I had already called my food in actually before I left my apartment.
Yeah.
And so I waited a little bit because it was only 2 blocks away and I walked fast. So I figured by the time I got around there, my food would be ready. I would just grab my food and take my black ass back home. But I did not get to go back home that night. All because he wanted to fill a quota of arresting innocent black men.
And that's the thing too. Now I talk about even in the book, I said, devils come in all races and stuff, but we real quick to be dismissive if we even put the name devil on any of them. You know what I'm saying? But
some of the demonic stuff that comes from our people, some of it that comes from some of our people, let me put it that way, some of our people, is there because of the brainwashing and the colonization and the stuff that's been set in place for us, like intentionally planting drugs in our community.
Yeah.
And then declaring a war on drugs.
Yeah.
You know how evil that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. To plant the drugs in the black community and then say, now we're going to declare war on drugs. So we can arrest them. Yeah.
People forget that it's still slave catching days.
Oh, yeah.
But that's why they don't teach us about, the Haitian Revolution. They don't teach us about, Nat Turner's rebellion. They don't teach us, Gabriel Prosser or Denmark Vesey. They don't teach us about any of that stuff. They know once that clicks, that
right.
over. Once it clicks, their reign is over. But what just saddens me, because it's always somebody going back and snitching. Every time you look, you're at the store, we would get away. But it's always one of us compelled by their hearts, God has not given you the spirit of fear. So when you
yeah.
That was not of God.
That one right there. We quit to say, God did not give us the spirit of fear. Yet we scared of white people. We scared of Caucasians. We scared to stand up. We talking about we waiting on God to come save us. But if you were in tune to the fact that God lives inside of you, you would know that God gave you the power to save yourself, to stand up for yourself.
And that goes with the liberation theology. That's when you were talking about, the whole, black first. and that, we have different dimensions of Christianity. And what a lot of people don't understand is, if you got all of the theatrics and all the fashion and all this type of stuff and the lights, camera, your ministry is going to grow. But if you on liberation theology and you're teaching Sankofa, and you're teaching all blackness alongside spirituality, because we don't even want to touch that. This stuff started with us, and we can even trace the story all the way back to the walls of Kemet. But, we ain't even going, that's a whole nother theological discussion. But, liberation theology, and that's the one thing you had asked, just like getting into this. Like, I've had my explorations of different, you know, spiritual groups and religions and stuff like that. But it wasn't until I was at VCU and I met other, like, you know, revolutionary students who were also, you know, Christians, you know, who really, they weren't like the typical Christians that we know, you know what I'm saying? They saw Jesus as like a revolutionary. So that was pretty much the backbone of what, you know, drove them. But they didn't get all caught up in it. It was like, okay, take up the cross, let's move. It wasn't, you know, they didn't get lost in it. And that's one thing I find that our people do. We just, you know, yes, I'm all for praising and glory, but, you know, there comes a time that you got to get up and move. That's why the scripture says, you know, faith without works is dead. But we get caught up in faith. We want to pray all day. We want to roll around on the floor all day. We want to speak in tongues all day. We want to measure out skirts and judge folks all day long. But that's not
right, because we'll say, I'm waiting on God to save us to turn things around. And the higher power I know, the creator I know, is like, what you waiting on me for? I gave you the power. I live in you. So you have the power to get up and save yourself. Save yourself.
It's a marriage, they say, by the power invested in me. See, I ain't preaching.
Yeah.
Don't start. Why you think they say by the power that's invested in you? Because there's power to, you know.
All right.
Stuff. Go on.
Now see, that's the type of sermon I would preach if I was a minister. I'd be preaching that pro-black message that we have the power within us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's why I would get kicked out of church, because I'd be telling the truth.
People talk about kicked out of church.
Oh, what? What you saying? What you saying?
I don't know. You know.
Oh, you trying to say you was kicked out of a church?
No, I'm not kicked out of church. But I know I'm saying some stuff that probably wish folks be like, you know what?
Yeah, well, what I wanted to say, because you talked about demons come in every race, right? But a lot of the, like I was saying before, a lot of the demonic stuff in Black people's minds comes from the fact that we've been colonized, right? The way that we see things are not the way that we would normally seen things had we not been interrupted. Like the way that we see manhood and the way that we see womanhood and so forth. Like there's a friend of mine who told me about an incident that he wanted me to bring up on here. You know who Lenny Kravitz is, right?
Yes.
And you know he was once married to Lisa Bonet, the actress. And Lisa Bonet is now married to another brother. And his birthday was, I guess, today or yesterday, whenever it was. And do you know of this person that has his own podcast where he does videos called Willie D?
I'm lost when it comes to
well, I'm not well versed on Willie D either. I've heard of him, but Willie D apparently is somebody who had an issue with what happened, because what happened was Lenny Kravitz, he sent a message, a happy birthday message, to Lisa Bonet's husband, her new husband. And in it, he was like, happy birthday, so brother, or whatever, something that he called him. And there was like some smiley faces exchanged. Her husband responded back with a smiley face and a heart and all that kind of stuff. And so apparently this brother had an issue with the fact, he said, well, there's nothing wrong with men saying I love you to each other, but he thought that there was something wrong with, you know, the smiley face and the heart and stuff like that. So he was trying to imply that they must have something going on sexual, which is absolutely stupid, because as you and I both know, in different parts of Africa that haven't been too colonized or strayed away from, our people did not see. That's your puppy, you doggy.
Yeah. Somebody at the door.
Oh, okay.
Who's unannounced at my door? But Mama, she gonna get him.
So, the way that we see manhood and womanhood now, those thoughts come from what we were taught during slavery, because women were never seen as second-class citizens in Africa.
Right.
You had some societies in Africa where the society was ran under a matriarchal type thing, where women ran things. And then you had some societies where men ran things. And even in those societies, they still didn't see women as less than.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had some other societies in Africa where the man and the woman ran things together.
Mm-hmm.
Now over here, because we have the mind of the enslaver instilled in us,
Mm-hmm.
we tend to sexualize stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to sexualize everything, or want to pervert things that would normally be pure if our minds had not been interrupted by colonization.
Right.
Because in Africa, in certain parts of Africa, you will see two men walking down the street holding hands,
Mm-hmm.
being very affectionate with each other, and they will be two heterosexual African men. But that's because that's the way they feed off of each other's energy. That's the way how they feel friendship there. So you will see two men being affectionate with each other there,
Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing sexual behind it.
Right.
But over here, the two men are affectionate, hold hands or whatever. It automatically got to be something sexual,
Right.
right? Even with the whole
walk a little too close to each other.
yeah, and so we just want to automatically say there's something wrong with it or whatever, or even with the dance that's called twerking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but that dance came from Africa.
Whining, juking up, because it still goes on in the Caribbean. You know, they call what gyrating, whining,
Right, and
it's fertility dancing.
Right, there was nothing like it was nothing like real sexual about it though.
But some of it was fertility dancing. So
fertility dance. I know what you mean.
Get you.
Yeah, but not to, because here it's been a ratchetness put on it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Gamification. Mm-hmm.
Right. It's just ratchet here. It's not anything about purity or trying to create or using your body to praise your higher power, which is what our people do naturally. Right. Everything here is looked at through a perverted eye. Like even the whole thing, who was that? Was it Smokey Norfolk who had a 16-year-old son or something like that? He had a son that was older who fell asleep on his chest.
Is it tainted? Oh wait, oh no, I thought you was giving the name, but yes, they tainted the dancing. Yes, hello, my loved one. Talking about the juking and stuff. Yes, they tainted the dance.
They tainted it over here. They tainted it, yeah.
And it was Smokey. Okay, yes, thank you, honey.
Yeah, Smokey Norfolk.
I know you even from afar.
Yeah, Smokey Norfolk has a son who I forgot how old he is. I think he's 16 or like 20, somewhere between 16 and 20. He's not a little kid.
Okay.
And so there was a picture taken of his son falling asleep in his arm, on his chest, which there shouldn't be anything wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But some people looked at that picture and said that it's wrong.
Right.
You know, that boy too old to be laying in his father's arm, which is absolutely stupid to me.
Right.
But that's again because they were trying to pervert it, trying to say that that's making him weak or whatever. And first of all, that's also a misperception because not all same-gender loving brothers are weak. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. We're not all weak.
I don't even know they are. Okay. So.
Right. And I speak up. I'm not afraid. I'm same-gender loving, and I'm not afraid to speak up about our people and to speak up for our people. Where there are some, not all. There's some heterosexual brothers that speak up too, but there are some heterosexual brothers that won't speak up. So you can't sit up here and you know try to say somebody's weak just because of their sexual orientation. But what I was saying was Lisa Bonet, well, this guy Willie D, who has his own little videos that he do.
Okay.
He had an issue with the fact that Lenny Kravitz, who was Lisa Bonet's ex-husband, and they have a daughter together, had sent a happy birthday message to her current husband.
Okay.
And there were like some little like affectionate little things exchanged, like smiley face and heart. And so, of course, he was trying to imply something, this Willie
Okay.
D person. But like, he said, I don't see anything wrong with brothers saying I love you to each other, but all those hearts and the smiley faces was just too much. Like
Mhm.
he was trying to just assume that they must have something secretly going on or
Mhm.
some crap like that. And I think it's ludicrous that two brothers can't send each other a smiley face
Right. At least,
or
yeah.
a heart emoji
Yeah.
or even a heart emoji. You can't send another brother a heart emoji without there being something sexual behind it. I mean, yeah,
The social media world.
it's really really crazy. And so you are a filmmaker, and I know that you haven't been able to do any films lately. I know you have some stuff on hold. Well, we're all on hold right now with this COVID thing. But you were developing a script at one point, which I told you that I wanted to be a part of, based on Seneca Village.
Hmm.
Um, that wasn't going to be a documentary, though. That was going to be a narrative film, correct?
Yeah, yeah. It
Oh,
was.
yeah, I definitely want to be a part of that. And for
But
Seneca Village,
also in the conceptual place because I really had just been because I mean I understand like the importance of telling that story, but like my baby is Saint Domingue. Remember when I was telling you the one with the preacher? That was
right?
because that's the one that deals with the last emancipation being spiritual and,
Hmm.
and mental and psychological and stuff. So, but dealing with a preacher that's being sent back in time. Just I don't know if people have seen that movie Sankofa, but it kind of has the same whole spiel of
Right.
it. Modern day preacher who's just
Yeah.
not aware of he's
Hmm.
Nigerian, but he's one of those ones that don't really want to be Nigerian. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Still real westernized and stuff, and he's put back into the slavery days and doing this transportation. He's exposed to like the time leading up to the Haitian Revolution, so that he can learn how much real voodoo is related to like Pentecostalism. They just kind of show that cultural story dealing with the
Yeah.
relationship of Christianity and culture, and that's the main reason why I'm like I really just kind of want to focus on getting that story told. I'm
And
like
you,
I
yeah,
had
you,
forgotten
and
about
so
some.
you want to show also about the real voodoo, as you said, because
That's what they
the
did before they took off. That's what people don't. That's what they.
well, oh,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
the enslaver has made us think that voodoo was something evil
Mm,
when it was not, correct?
right.
And yeah, and so it is
That's why it
important
was
to,
so easy for Africans to become Catholics because it reflected so heavily already the system of spirituality that they already had.
hmm
So, but that's what I
right.
really wanted to, to show. And I mean, I do have a contrast between, Voodoo as well as, a Pentecostal character to kind of show, the
Hmm.
relationship and, like with baptism and, just to show that, it's really about the dance.
Right.
It really just boils down to the dance, the rhythm, and the spiritual antenna that you're using to connect to the spiritual realm. That's what that
Okay.
really is. What the separation is,
Yes.
and what's your philosophy? What is your mental, your spiritual antenna? What are you pulling on? What are you grabbing on? Once you
Hmm.
play these drums and you hear this dance, so I know I'm getting amen over there.
Ashe. Ashe.
I say, So that's what I say. Cause I tell people all the time. What really fascinated me about it was, being in university, just muting the voodoo ceremony video and just seeing, you wouldn't even know. You would think that you are at, a Pentecostal church on Pentecost Sunday where everybody wear all white. Where you don't hear nothing and you're watching. That's
Hmm.
what you would think. So that's why I say
Okay.
a lot that we really have to to learn about it, because they taught us a lot of different things. They think the pins and needles, and as I teach people, that's the hoodoo, with the
Voodoo.
because
Yeah.
be not mistaken, there are people who deal on dark side and stuff like that, but it doesn't mean that
Or the light side.
Okay, it doesn't mean just because it's that it's black,
Right.
So what you're tapping into, and that's why you'll go to some of these parties and stuff like that, and that's why certain energies rise up, and sometimes fighting, they tainting the drums, tainting the rhythms, and you don't know what you're opening up when you're dealing with drums in the spirit. So.
Oh yes. But yes, my sister, my God, sister. I love you to pieces. Now, I did mention, so since I did mention Seneca Village, and some of our people may or may not know what Seneca Village was, we do need to address that. I know what it is, but since you're the guest and I've been doing a lot of talking, I want you to tell them about Seneca Village.
Well, long story short, when they was making New York City, Central Park was the last place that they started really trying to, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Make it metropolitan or cosmopolitan, but that's the reason why you have Central Park in the middle of Manhattan, because that used to be an African village, that used to be a black town. So and these people, they were just like, we're not giving up our town. So the people, as they do, they said, okay, we're gonna build. So they kept building around the town, and then they eventually got the people off, and then they just kept it as a park. I mean, there's still some relics of stuff,
essentially what you're saying is white people were white peopling. And what white folks do. They decided they wanted a park, right? They decided they wanted to build a park. And they're like, ooh, where can we build it? Never mind, these people own this spot where they at, Seneca Village, and they have a thriving community there. We want to build our park there. So what are we going to do? We're going to push them out of there, even if we have to kill them to get them out of there.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did. And that's where Central Park is today. Yeah. Central Park once was Seneca Village, an all-black town that, they kicked black people out of their own space so they could build a park. And yeah, so that is a definite important part of our history that needs to be told, because they've been doing that for a long time and they're still doing it today.
That's the thing. When we talked about it, we talked about this in the other session, and that's the thing that I just wish that people, since we were talking about spirituality and stuff, I just wish that people will allow, the Holy Spirit to speak to them and say, you know what, we can have another Tulsa. We don't have to just always sit back and, they burned down our Black Wall Street. The Holy Ghost ain't saying it's time for us to rebuild our own town. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, see, that's how come some people listening to the wrong one. Some people listening to
we don't have to start a church.
Yeah, some people listen. See, some people. We could be co-pastors. We could be.
We start a church.
Yes, Blackity Black Ministry. Yeah, I'll be your co-pastor for Blackity Black Ministries. Yes, indeed. Yes, but no. Some black people are listening to the wrong spirit. That's the problem. They're listening to Willie Nelson or somebody. I don't know. They listen to some spirit of massa. That's what they listen to. The one that tells them that we can't do without them, and we can't do without you know who and everything. And as soon as you say that we need to build our own, they want to see you as evil because we're supposed to be working this out. Yeah, they think that's a bad thing, but it's not, because as they say, right? Stress kills. Right?
Yeah, I know.
That's a proven fact. It's also a proven fact that dealing with racism is very stressful on black people. That's also a proven fact. So us wanting to get away from that, under normal circumstances, if something stresses you out, you would tell somebody to get away from that thing that's stressing them.
Right.
racism stresses Black people out and causes all different types of problems within us, even some health issues, dealing with stress or fighting racism, something that we did not create. And if you want to get away from that, you're accused of being a bad person, or
Right.
they want to accuse you of hating Caucasians because you want to separate yourself from the stress. Like I said before, it's like being in an abusive relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in an abusive relationship with this racist society. Now, under normal circumstances, you would tell a person to get out of that abusive relationship, get away from the abuser. But
Yep.
what we do is we keep hanging on to the abuser, trying to convince them to change. And
They ain't mean it.
now they ain't mean it. They said I'm sorry. They say I'm sorry, and they don't even say I'm sorry. But most of the time, but we still want to hang on to the abusive relationship instead of separating ourselves from that and building for us. Because I don't want to pass on the torch of oppression to another generation of Black people.
Absolutely.
And so we should be about building our own. Everybody else has a piece of their own in this country. Asians have Chinatown. And it's not just for Chinese people. It's for all Asians.
That's just a love for their culture. And we know if we want Chinese something, they got their own town, and we know where.
Right. And they have little Italies across the country for Italians. And now there's little Mexicos popping up for Mexicans and so forth.
But we got little Somalia right around the corner. And I mean, that's East Africa right there. So that's why I say I can't even hate, in which I don't even hate on, other communities, and they come up and they just looking at the block. They have.
Wait a minute, where's the little Somalia at?
Over here in Alexandria.
Really?
They have how you have indoor out shopping mall. There's like a whole strip. And on the front side, they have their own hair salon. They have their own restaurants. They have their own bars, their own cleaners.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All kind of stuff. And it's just like, wow. But that's when you are in a foreign place, in a strange place, you have to bring yourself together. See, our problem is we got too used to being here. We haven't realized that we still a little bit of strangers in this land. You know what I'm saying? So we don't feel the need to unify. It's more so a possessive individuality. We're so possessed with I'm gonna get mine. You know what I'm saying? And that is our problem. So we can't even bat our eyes at these other people because they know they're not from here.
Right.
They are taking advantage of this opportunity, this dream that we know that this is a nightmare for us. So it's just like, we have a dream, but it's just really time to come to terms with
I had a dream today.
Okay. But our dream might not always.
And Martin did not believe in that dream anymore. Just so y'all know, he didn't. He gave up on that. He knew that was not even. It turned into a nightmare for him. But y'all don't want to have that conversation. But anyway, you have recorded 3 CDs, right? You have the Diaspora in 2006. And Rhythmic Blues in 2009, and now you have House Call in 2020, and you're also the female lead vocalist in the Proverbs Reggae Band.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. What were you going to say?
I said, yes, I am.
How long have you been with Proverbs?
I have been with Proverbs since September 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Is this your first recording with Proverbs?
No, I don't have any recordings with Proverbs yet.
Oh.
Yeah, but
I thought y'all may have recorded something.
No,
Okay.
No, but hopefully after this quarantine is over, hopefully we'll have something, because they were working on something at the time, before I had got with them. I mean, you know how production and stuff goes sometimes.
Right.
Stuff isn't released until years later, so that is why there's a new album out. But because they had already did this, but we have some stuff on the burner. We still rehearse. We don't rehearse in person. We do rehearse online. There's an app called Jam Kazam that a lot of bands have been using. Because you can't really rehearse on Zoom because everybody's a little beat behind and stuff. But Jam Kazam, kind of eliminates that, and we kind of can play like we're all in the same room. So, you know, we still do Thursday.
I'm gonna put my little bit in there. In addition to us becoming co-pastors at Blackity Black Ministry, I might want to do a song with you one day. You know, I got a little voice here,
Yeah,
a little something,
I know.
a little something. Because I got some compliments on that Sam Cooke thing I did, or Chasing to the Club.
We can definitely do something.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. All right, so your friend still watching? I thought there was 3 people in there at one time. Is your friend still on here?
I don't know which one is still on there. Look, who's still on here? Let's see who is it that's still on here.
Yeah, because y'all want to hear another one of her tunes. Because I'm ready to hear another one of Content's tunes before we continue the conversation.
Yeah, let's see. Let's find some.
What you got for us?
I'm going to play. Let's see. You want to hear another house song, or you want to hear the duet?
The duet, you said?
I said, you want to hear the house song or the duet that I had did with the dude?
What dude?
Well, no, you heard it already, then. So. I'll play Sting.
How great is it that we get to tell everybody?
Sorry, you know, they got to always do their advertising.
Okay. Is this another jam? You going to dance?
BC, like a movie on a screen. I need to be me.
Can you turn it up a little?
Be up on TV. I need to be seen. Like a movie on a screen. I need to be me. Like a movie on TV. I need to be seen.
Yeah.
I need to be me. Like a movie on TV. I need to be seen.
I need to be seen.
Yeah, you need to be singing.
I need to be seen.
I hear that Caribbean in there. Yeah. All right. Hit that note, girl.
Focus on me body, focus on the hot thing. Find another light. Focus and you'll find me. I need to be like a movie on a screen. I need to be like a movie on a screen.
Hey, don't be teasing. Hit that note. Come on. All right. I like that. I like that. Don't do that. right, all right, all right. Right. So tell the tell the people where they
So I
can
gotta
find
go
you at.
crazy.
Huh? Y'all hear that jamming? I'm asking y'all hear that jamming? I see somebody in here. You jam, 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 jam. The party music. Stop teasing. Hit that note. Stop lip syncing. Come on. Stop lip syncing. Tell the people where they can find your new CD at.
They can,
And,
first of
and
all, stream it on any outlet. So I just was playing that to y'all on from YouTube. So and I'm getting ready to do some things on YouTube. So some stuff is coming up because this album has made me, I mean, it's been so long since I put anything, since I put anything out that, times have really changed since, back then. So now I'm just kind of learning about everything that's going on, social media wise. Like, you really got to get a grip on that thing to really monetize on it and stuff. But, of course, when I'm having my inspirational moments, I'm going to have to get you to come and speak on something because I'm going to be trying to do inspirational moments on Sundays and on Mondays. I'm producing and planning to do Meatless Mondays. And then on Fridays, I'm going to be doing like musical moods. So, you might catch me singing on guitar or you might catch me singing with a friend or, Yeah,
I remember I did see a video of you like a month or so ago.
Yeah.
Strumming a guitar and singing Don't Ask My Neighbor.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
More stuff like that type of stuff. So, I'm really going to try to really push things out on the YouTube.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. I'm going to be calling on you. So.
All right. Are we going to start Blackity Black 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 Ministries for real?
Yes, we're going to start it. And I'm telling you, people, every time I talk about, my dream church and all that stuff, and they be like, girl, you might have to start your own. You know what I'm saying? I just, I don't know.
I ain't joking either.
People tell me all the time, not jokingly,
Right.
You need to start your own because it would be definitely very Afrocentric,
Mm-hmm.
Very Afrocentric,
because the higher power I know wants us to protect ourselves and stand up for ourselves and to fight back when necessary. And when I say fight back, I'm not talking about just automatically just being violent, but we do need to protect ourselves. And I'm talking about us loving ourselves enough to build our own for us and our future generations, because I'm sure you see it too. There is an attack on Black love. There's something that they don't
get me started with that.
Well, please do get started on it. What you got to say?
Lord have mercy.
What you got to say about that?
Just as you said earlier, this process of colonization and enslavement has really thrown us off as a people. And the unfortunate thing is a lot of our people in the generations before us didn't know that we were thrown off. So they didn't seek to, relearn certain things and teach certain things or, seek deliverance, since we always want to talk deliverance, deliverance from certain things. And, just we as a people and just looking at my generation and stuff, it's like we don't even know how to be a husband or a wife.
Right.
to anyone. We be struggling just to be a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and it's just like, you know.
You talking about the degree of selfishness that's out here today?
Yes, selfishness.
Yeah.
You know, people want to always talk about, you know, same gender loving people and stuff, but I'm like, you know, I think the one of the craziest threats is, you know, the hobo sexual. You know what I'm saying? Because that can be somebody who's straight as well as same gender loving.
Hobo.
You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Who are there to leech and who are not about building wealth and, you know, just there to, you know, rest their head and, you know, get one off. You know what
yeah.
I just it's really just difficult. And I mean, years ago I was seeing, you know, people just talking and saying, well, you know, you black women, you guys are going to be single because, you know, you guys, you definitely need to start dating outside your race and all that stuff. But I just always seen
wrong answer.
the brother. You know? I ain't had on nothing. I mean, I see some people that be fine, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I've just always have visualized, you know, myself with, you know, a person, a black person, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we have a lot to relearn about not only ourselves.
Well, first of all, you talk a lot about wanting to, well, your work is international and want to reach the diaspora, the African diaspora. So the African diaspora is very well versed and wide, and because of that, we should not have to settle for being with Caucasoids.
Right.
And when you're talking about procreating and wanting to be and being pro-black or black first, that kind of defeats the purpose of getting with somebody who's Caucasian. I mean, you hear all this stuff about we got the dominant genes, and so anybody who, because I heard a black guy say recently that, you know, anybody who, I think it was Nick Cannon's crazy butt, he said something about if he makes a baby with a white woman, the baby's going to automatically be black. That's not always true. That's not always true.
Right.
And honestly, his children, I'm not trying to say anything negative about his children, but the children that he has with Mariah Carey, if you look at them, they don't really look black, even though they may have his genes.
Right.
And people talk about, you know, black people can get rid of it, you know, or take over by sleeping with them. That's crazy. That's not going to happen. And then also when you do that, you're diluting your bloodline.
Right.
And because I see it happening all the time. I talked about this on the last episode that I did, about the fact that you see these black celebrities.
Grace Jones.
Yeah, Grace Jones. She had a baby with a white man, and her son, you can still see that he has some melanin. She's dark skinned, but her son is light skinned. He looks like a light skinned black man with locks. He had locks at the time in this picture. I don't know if he still has locks or not, but he grew up and got with a Caucasian woman.
Okay.
And they had a baby.
Right.
And so now Grace Jones's grandchild just looks white. Just looks.
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
But that's
you don't.
White folks don't need to be acting like how they do act, because, you know, just a few generations ago, you very well could have been black.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean,
Right.
I do history research and stuff like that. So I mean, you very well, your
Right.
great grandma very well could have been a black woman, but here it is, you know, out here looking like you on meth in January 6th. But
But I think that I'm not trying to down anybody or anything like that, but I just feel like if we say we want to honor our ancestors, we're not honoring our ancestors by diluting our bloodline. We're not. We're not honoring our ancestors by erasing them from their own family tree, from the future branches of their family tree, whereas their future descendants won't look anything like them.
yeah.
How can we be honoring our ancestors if we're making sure that that their future descendants and our future descendants are just going to look like the people who enslaved them?
Yep.
You know.
Even know. Yeah.
So
Make you go.
what you say?
Things that make you go.
No, things that make me go, hell no.
Hell no.
And gotta keep it
But you're
flat.
right in regards to, a whole diaspora approach, because that's the issue too, why, I feel maybe a lot of sisters do just be like, all right, well, maybe I do need to just do that, because they're not traveled. They're not well traveled.
Mm-hmm.
They've never been nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? and that's
Look.
the argument that I had when, under a post one time when they were saying, okay, well, Black women need to get over it here in America. You guys outnumber us. So if you really want a brother, you need to be okay with polygamy. Okay, so, but then I had said, oh, well, no, there's so many brothers in the Caribbean and in Africa, why I don't see why you wouldn't even need to settle for that. And only a woman that would settle for that is someone who don't know how or cannot get on a damn plane or a boat, you know what I'm saying, and go somewhere else in the world.
Now, although they did have some societies in Africa where polygamy did happen.
I know, as well as polygamy.
Yeah, where a woman had more than one husband. She had more than one. Where a Black woman had more than one Black husband. She had more than one Black husband. And some societies where a Black man had more than one Black wife. Yeah. I'm not personally for polygamy for myself either. I'm not judging anybody else who does it. But it's not for me. I'm naturally a monogamous person. I believe in monogamy.
Me too. The way folks be acting,
but I would deal with polygamy first.
Before
I would have 2 Black spouses before I would go over to some white person. That ain't happening. Okay. I would deal with being with 2. I would have 2. I'd be committed to 2 Black people before I would get with a Caucasian. I just ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I would never be. I would, and some people hear that and they think I'm coming from a place of hatred. I'm not hating anybody. I just feel connected to my people, to our people. And I feel like I'm not honoring our ancestors if I'm laying up in the arms of some Caucasian. That's not honoring them, So even though I am naturally a monogamous person and that's what I want, I would deal with polygamy first before I would ever go over to that other side. People that white, no, I ain't doing it. I'm just, look. I said I keep it real here, right?
Yes. Real. Hey. We just really have a lot to learn more about just, Black love. It's so many things that work against just that even idea sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because, things have really changed. Things weren't so great when our grandparents and stuff, were coming up, and people always say, well, grandma she would have stayed and stuff. And somebody had put a meme out there, but it was like, well, grandma didn't have Instagram and grandma couldn't read. You know what I'm saying? Some of them had to stay where they are, but it's just like, it's so much that we just have to learn. And like how I said, there's so many things that work against that when it comes to just even employment, because you got a lot of, brothers that's not, working, or, they don't want to get married or whatever because they don't feel that they can provide for a family and stuff like that. And then, you have women who, because they've seen that single motherhood thing, it's just like, well, I'm going to work and get myself to the acme so that if this do happen to me, I ain't going to struggle. I ain't even going to need no man. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, a lot of the stuff that keeps our people divided stems from untreated traumas.
Yeah.
Stuff that may have happened in their childhood.
And
that they have not dealt with. And systemic racism as well, because things have been put in place to divide us. And they're working harder and harder now to keep us divided. And that's why they keep putting all these images out there of Black men with white women or Black women with white men. They rarely show 2 Black people together anymore. And it's very intentional. Like, even I mentioned this before on the last episode, because I was talking to the brother who's an advertising and marketing professional, Eddie Mouse Jr., which that was a great interview as well. And talking about this one commercial by H&M. And was H&M was the they're the ones who had that controversy a
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
years back with the coolest monkey in the jungle.
yeah.
Well, now they have this commercial. I don't know if you've seen this commercial or not, where when the commercial comes on, they show this beautiful dark-skinned brother with locks, and he's with the palest white woman they could find.
I don't know if I've seen it, but
He,
it's
he,
just
he
shown so much.
he's with the palest white woman they could find with blonde white hair, and he's kissing her, right? And then they show a black woman laying in bed, cuddled up with a white man.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe they show a white couple in there too, right? And then towards the end of the commercial, they go back to the black guy, the beautiful dark-skinned brother with the lock,
Mm-hmm.
and they show him holding this baby, this really pale baby, really pale baby with light eyes that I guess he supposedly had with this woman. The baby don't look anything like him. Totally opposite from him. So yeah, they're definitely putting these messages out there intentionally, and as also was discussed, they do that to give the impression that it's become more popular than it actually has.
Right.
And because black people see that stuff in television and movies, we think that more of us are doing it, when actually it's not the case. Because recent studies have shown that it's like, 80 something percent, like 82, 83, 84%, something like that. It's 80 something percent of black men are married to black women still today. And of course, the percentage is just as high with black women marrying black men. But if you go by what they're showing on television, you will believe that more black people are jumping over there, because that's what they're trying to make that seem more popular and glamorize that. But they're not depicting in films how things actually are. The fact that most black men do want a black woman. It's not the majority of black heterosexual men that's running after white women.
Mm-hmm.
That's a small percentage.
TV as such.
Yeah. They're just trying to glamorize it and make it seem more popular, and some of our people fall for it. Just like the same thing, even in the same gender loving community, black same gender loving community.
Mm.
Most of the black celebrities out here who are same gender loving, they have Caucasian. The ones who they push have become who have Caucasian counterpart, love interest.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Roberts, she's with a Caucasian woman.
Mm-hmm.
The female comic, Wanda Sykes, she's with a white woman raising white children. Don Lemon is with a Caucasian man. What's his name?
But that girl, what's that actress that did Bob Hart's Abishola? She's a Nigerian woman.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of her name right now, but
the actress, she's with a white man in real life.
No, she's with a white woman in real life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll send you something about her offline.
Yeah, I can't really watch that show.
Oh yeah, I just be cracking up because that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. And what's his name? He was on The Real World one time. I can't think of his name. Very attractive brother, dark-skinned brother, and he got with this older white man that he proposed to. I can't think of his name. But anyway, all the ones that they push out there, the black people, they have white love interest. But you also have a black couple who are writers and directors. Their name is DeAndre Gossett and Quincy Lanier. And they had a DVD series that was out back towards the early 2000s called the DL Chronicles.
Okay, yeah, I saw.
And I think they like renewed it and tried to make some new episodes like a few years ago.
Oh, for real? Huh.
Yeah, and so this is a black couple, two black men together, and neither one of them act like a stereotype, if you know what I mean.
Right.
I'm not going to say anything's wrong with the stereotype,
right?
But that's all they show. But these two black guys, they're just regular black guys. They're not over the top. They're not flamboyant. They're just two regular guys. They're not on the DL, but these are two black men who love each other. They work together and they write together and stuff like that. But they don't get pushed out. They don't get pushed or
Right.
promoted. You know, like the ones who fit the stereotype, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
What can you do? What
What
can
can
you
you
do?
do? Yeah, we're going to be calling you soon too because we have not scheduled it yet, but we have a very important episode of King Talk that's going to be coming up.
Okay.
And we definitely need female input, some sisters input from this. I'm not going to say on here what we're going to be discussing,
Okay. Gotcha.
but because we're going to, myself and Alex are going to do an impromptu to talk about it at some point soon
Okay.
about what we're going to be discussing. But it's some stuff that a lot of people don't touch.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. How long have we been talking now? I know it's been a good, what time is it?
And
I
for
can't see
an
it.
hour and a half.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Well, see, those good conversations, you know what I'm saying? The time just fly. I could talk to you forever. And are you really serious about starting black ministries? Because
You have no idea how when I was 27, I've already started. They say write the vision and make it plain. Okay.
and you know what? I used to lead that song.
But write the vision and make it plain.
He would do just what he said. I used to lead that song at church.
It's so true.
I did, huh?
I said, and it's just so true. I mean, it just right. I just write it out, but I tell people, we'll see. As I said, we're gonna start with the ministry plug via the YouTube first and see what kind of thing.
Yeah, because we need to teach our people to become more spiritual rather than religious.
Yeah, yeah.
Because those religious denominations just keep us separated. Like I talked about before, Malcolm X, in his speech, The Ballot or the Bullet, he talks about the fact that he may be Muslim, but he's a black nationalist, and which means he's for all black people. And he said when we come together to discuss the progression of our people, we need to leave certain things outside of the discussion, such as religion and stuff like that. Because when we come together to discuss the empowerment of our people and we start talking about religion, we begin to disagree and argue and argue, and we get stuck there arguing. And since we get
arguing and nothing happens. That's why I tell people I'm tired of talking. I'm just like, look, I'm constantly looking on Google Maps when y'all ready to build a town. Okay, y'all need a mayor.
All right, now you're gonna be the mayor.
Governor, I'll be the governess.
I'll be the mayor then. Okay, I'll be mayor. Mayor Tay Tay.
Okay. There's a lot of work to be done, but it's good to have.
Yeah, because we need to start black ministries, because we need to start teaching our people about being spiritual and that natural spiritual connection that we have, and teaching them about the fact that that spirit, that energy of the Creator lives within us, and we need to get our people in tune with that. Instead of keep looking at God as this outside thing. Which
there's
definitely
more to life than the olive oil. There's other things that, our ancestors used to tap into the spiritual realm, So it's just a lot of relearning and, get out of that fear. Because a lot of people, they scared because, I don't want to go to hell,
Yeah.
So,
we already there. Yeah, just don't know it.
Like y'all understand, I said this is definitely a dimension.
That whole thing about they tell black folk that we got to die to experience quote unquote heaven or real happiness and joy
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and why are we the only people that got to do that?
Yeah.
We got
that teach that, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
They don't teach that in other religions. If they did, they wouldn't have what they have. So
right.
Like I said, they know how to pray and then move it on. We want to pray and then, ooh, that get good. And then here we go. We 12 hours.
Yeah.
Here we are, you know, and then you just play another song. You know what I'm saying? No, well, we're going to go and build the next 16 chapel. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to go build a school. We're not going to go build a hospital. We're not going to go do these other things. But we're going to go build a church. But them people, they know how to go to their mosque. They know how to go to their synagogue. They know how to go to their temple, say their little prayer, light their little incense, and then be progressive in the world.
Yes. Hallelujah. Asheo.
Okay.
Hallelujah. Asheo. In the black of the black. Black, black, black. Yes.
But it's been so real. It's so real.
So what do you have coming up for your filmmaking prospects, or as far as what you want to do next? I know we talked about the project with the priest and all that.
Yeah.
Is that what's the next thing you want to do? Is that what you want to do next? Because I know that's going to take a lot of work.
But that can't even come to pass right now because, I mean, you know, because production and stuff is shut down. But what's next right now is, like I said, just really building my brand, dealing with, you know, the inspirational moments. Like, people know me for moments, munchies, and music.
Munchies and music. All right.
And music. So, you know, just really bringing together, you know, my Content Johnson brand and really just starting to get stuff active on the YouTube. So, I mean, that's what I've been busy doing these past few weeks is just, you know, filming and stuff and editing. And, you know, soon I'll make an announcement about that so that people, you know, can start.
So are you going to be doing any music videos for any of the singles on your current CD?
I am definitely interested in doing that. I have talked to one person, but I don't know if I'm gonna go with them. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if we're gonna go with them, but I don't know. But yeah, there's like maybe two songs that I would like to make a video for.
Okay.
So just be on the keep your eyes open for that. And I told people, I said that was house call. You know, by the time the summer comes, I might give y'all a house call too. Because I'm feeling my house vibes right now.
You feeling that house vibe? Yeah.
I'm praying all day. I'm Proverbs all day. But, you know, to be in the house. So, you know, you never know. You might get another house.
And see, the thing about it is, for me, I like some house, but I'm not really crazy about house music. I can only listen to a little bit of it. But your house is different for some reason. I was really feeling it.
House. I'm with you.
It's so house.
Certain, like, I'm not a big techno and stuff, but like soul house and
like that house music that go, you know, it's the same beat over and over again. Boom, 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 boom. It's just like over and over. You know, like right. I can't listen to too much of that, but yeah, I like what you got going on. Definitely.
Thank you.
Now tell the people once again, where they can find your book.
The book
Saved, Sanctified, Filled with the Devil, and also where they can find House Call, your new CD.
Okay, well, you can get House Call on all of the platforms. Anything that streams music, you can find it. TikTok, YouTube, Pandora. I mean, it's everywhere for the music. For the book, just go on Amazon. You can get it as a paperback, or you can get it on your Kindle, and I think it's free on your Kindle. If it's not free, it might be like 99 cents, but I really think it's free. And then you can get it on Audible, and I think Audible is like $4.99 or something like that, but it's not expensive. 65 pages. I say a whole lot.
Oh yeah, she does. You need to y'all need to buy just to see the titles of the different chapters.
It's just like, and if for people that don't really care to read, you know, the Audible, I think it's like a total of like 3 hours, maybe. I don't know, 2 to 3 hours. Just anytime you ride it in your car, you're sitting in your house, just put it on.
Is it your voice?
It's my voice. I'm reading it.
Okay.
I wrote it and then I went back and read the whole thing over.
Okay.
But see, that's that for that book. But like talking about, you know, the Saint Domingue and the preacher film and stuff, considering compiling the script in novel form, because when I've been putting it out there like some years ago for like some screenwriting competitions, and that's one thing people were saying. They were just like, have you ever thought about writing a novel? Because I know there's a little more I can expand on, but
yes.
And so I'm thinking, I wish the spirit would have led me to, and I didn't have a whole lot to do for now, and I would have did that for February for Black History Month. But I feel like, okay, let me just go ahead, since I already have all the text. I can just put it out as a novel. You never know, somebody might read it. Somebody that really got a coin.
Yeah.
They say, hey, so get the coin for the novel, get the coin for the script, get the coin. Come on, you got to see the mouth.
Yeah.
The way I own it. You understand?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, all right. So if anything, it's not going to come out this month because I don't have the time. But I don't know, maybe by Kwanzaa. Maybe that, or August, because actually, since it deals with that period of them starting the Haitian Revolution, so I might try to release it around that anniversary.
Okay,
that's like August, but we'll see.
Cool. Well, let me know how soon I can need to be prepared for my first sermon at Blackity Black
Yes.
Ministry.
I'll let you know. Hey.
Somebody say hello.
Yep. But the friend in the high places. I remember. Your friend.
I can't see it for some reason right now. Who?
Lord, he gonna kill us.
Alex?
Well, he gonna kill me. It's somebody from King Talk.
Alex?
Yeah, is it Alex? Are you Alex? I don't think you Alex.
I can't see it for some reason. I can't see it coming right now.
Tony, it's Tony B.
Oh, what up, Tony B? What up, Tony B? What up, Tony B?
But see, I remember, the friend in the high place. See, I remember that. The friend in the high place.
Yes.
I remember that.
So Tony B on here. Ask Tony B if he want to hear one of your songs right quick. We'll play another tune before we get up out of here. So, do Tony want? You want to hear another? You want to hear one of Content's tunes?
You want to hear something?
A little something.
Let me see.
We'll play a little bit of it.
I'll play a little bit of it.
A little snippet.
He said, I'll take the serenade.
What do you say?
The duet. I'll play a little bit of that one. All the way through the first chorus. They want their advertisement, but we ain't giving them their advertisement. All right. And this is the perfect breakup song for anybody that needs.
Oh God, we ain't trying to break up.
Can't keep on.
Right.
Can't keep on.
And who is the brother singing with you?
His name is Brian Roberts.
Bryant Robert. And give him a shout out. What's Tony saying? Yes.
That's a little something.
All right, that's a little son. So Tony, make
Probably
sure you.
everybody's favorite hand dance song come this summer. If they just give us free with this COVID, so I
Well,
can get
see,
my hand
well,
dance.
see, with the COVID thing, which don't make sense to me, they talking about how dangerous it is, but yet they ready to open up schools next month,
But they
right?
can't keep holding you. The song is called "Can't Keep Holding You." You
Right.
can check it out even on YouTube. So the whole album's on YouTube too, so you can just go ahead and check it out. Content Johnson. But yo, that song is called "Can't Keep Holding You." So enjoy.
Yeah. No, what I was saying about COVID is that the thing about that is they saying how dangerous it is right now, but yet they still pushing to open schools next month to send
Yeah.
our children back to school, which that doesn't make sense to me. Uh, but that's what they're doing. They're trying to push to open up schools next month.
And you know, and I teach on the weekends, but they haven't said anything to us, so I think my organization got sense.
Okay. So Tony was feeling that, huh? I don't know why I can't see his comment right
I
now.
don't know. It ain't no sense.
Anyway, I normally see the comments, but I don't know why I don't see it right now. But yeah, it's what it is. But
Yeah.
we've been on here for an hour and a half or more
Almost
now.
2 hours.
So it's been a great conversation, and we're definitely going to have you back again, especially when we're ready to launch Blackity Black Ministry. Huh?
I said, of course, because it's needed, you know.
Oh yeah.
People don't realize a lot of folks that were Garveyites, you know, after he passed on, and then, you know, once they started seeing the folks that was in the church, they said, okay, well, they ain't leaning on this ideology right now. So a lot of them went to the Nation of Islam. Those that, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize that the church started losing their, you know, revolutionary spirit at a certain time. Or after Garvey had passed and stuff. So, you know, a lot of those people who were revolutionary black Christians, you know, black liberation theology, you know, the churches wasn't trying to hear that at a certain point in time. They was, you better get filled with this Holy Ghost. You better leave that worldly stuff alone.